Game 10 of the World Championship match presented by Google is over, and it all began with Ding Liren repeating an opening choice that he did in Game 6, because yes, it was a London system once more. So after the opening moves, out comes the bishop, and it caused some hesitation from Gukesh whether he should repeat the line that he chose in Game 6 or go for something different.
That's right, and the London system, this is only the third time it's ever appeared in World Championship history. Each time has been played by Ding Liren, and it was actually him who caused the first surprise after Gukesh brought his bishop out here, bishop to d6, this move, bishop e2. The point being now that a trade forces the black bishop to move a second time. So very subtle, but the black bishop loses a move, and pawn to c4 now challenges the center, which soon explodes.
Yes, and it's actually a line that Ding Liren's second, Richard Report, had very fond memories in. But there we did see a trade of pawns on c4, and we were wondering what method should Gukesh adopt? Should he trade queens? Should he perhaps just keep the tension on the board with a6? But Gukesh stuck to his nature, and he chose the most principled move, that was coming out with the knight to the edge of the board. And this is the first time that we saw Ding actually think.
Yeah, up to this point, Gukesh had expended a lot of time, especially this move, knight to h5. He was in the tank for a while, over 20 minutes, but it was worth it. And Ding, now out of his opening preparation, decided to move his bishop. Very natural. You don't really want to part with bishops for knights in such an open position. This attacks the black queen, asks a question. She didn't flinch. Instead, the black bishop jumped back to offer a trade and support. Ding kept the tension. He defended his bishop very actively with his knight. The black knight retreated, and this was the critical moment, potentially, Jovanka. Ding, this was his last chance to keep maximum tension.
Yeah, so we were expecting perhaps that Ding would take the knight, but with the bishop. And the whole idea is that you will accelerate the play, come out with the queen to c2, and now the rooks will move quickly towards the center. But that, unfortunately, was not what Ding Liren chose. He thought that he would press in a more gentle manner.
Yeah, so far more risk-free, but unfortunately less reward, potentially. He took the knights off the board, and after a trade of knights, the queens also departed, and then the bishops left, and very shortly, rooks soon being traded as well.
Yes, and once the rooks left the board, we were still pondering about how much of an advantage white had, because the bishop is better placed, the knight is also in a better square, but ultimately, Gukesh just played very accurately.
Yeah, black's only downside to his position is these doubled pawns. They're slightly inflexible. Potentially there's a weakness out there, an isolated pawn, an island, just like Sentosa on h7. And meanwhile, though, this didn't become a factor. Ding playing a bit too tentatively here, a bit too slowly. He brought his king across. Gukesh now gaining space in really instructive manner. Pawn to f5. It does look like these pawns are fixed now on light squares, the same color as their bishop. Not really advisable, but it's more important to bring the king towards the center. And the next few moves, very, very precise. The black knight dropped back, opening up the bishop to come out. But the hidden idea is to actually trade off rooks.
Yes, and once the rooks come off, all that was left was for Gukesh to trade off the knights, and that would just secure a very easy draw. And Ding, perhaps sensing that the position had fizzled out, indeed did make that trade, and now it was just a question of mobilizing the kings, getting them to the squares that they could go to, and then we see that once everything is picture perfect, it is a picture perfect result, with it being a draw.
Yeah, no way through for either side. Very, very balanced game. Ding not hiding his intentions. It looks like he's clearly angling towards the tie breaks now. But for Gukesh, another black done safely. And yeah, we move on to game 11.
And game 11 is where Gukesh will have the white pieces, and we'll look forward to seeing how Gukesh will manage to press or perhaps gain an advantage there.